Hi, this is Renee, and this is a WordPress walkthrough. I have spent countless hours learning how to use WordPress, and there's a lot of things I love about it, but I know that for beginners it can be a little confusing sometimes. So I'm about to make a few changes to one of my websites, and I thought I would record this screencast just to help out anyone who would like to know a little bit more about working with WordPress. WordPress themselves have some great resources, but maybe it will help to see someone working on a real site in action. So this is one of my websites, professionalparentsnetwork.org, which I've recently shifted over from self-hosted WordPress.org to WordPress.com. They're hosting it for me, and I have a plan here. I have what's called the personal plan here. So I am paying, this is credit towards what I have already paid, but I'm paying around €4 a month. That allows me to use my own URL, which is professionalparentsnetwork.org, and I've logged in at wordpress.com, and that is allowing me access to the back end of this website so I can work on it. There is the menu down on the left hand side here, and if you're new to WordPress, I recommend that you just click through and experiment and look at all the different tabs. So this is the actual site. It's got visit site, but I prefer to just do it in a different tab up here. They've also got a great preview so you can see what it looks like on a tablet, what it looks like on a phone. So you can see here my banner gets cut off a little bit, so that's something I might like to look at, and how it would come up on search and social. You have to have a business plan for that. So going back to desktop, I don't really use that tab very much because I tend to work on it in a different tab up here. The statistics are interesting. I have been running this website for quite a number of years, and I was really thrilled that WordPress could transfer my statistics over from my my self-hosted site into this new hosting directly with them, which is great. Taking a little while to load there, but I have been running this for a number of years, and it's really interesting to look at your statistics and see where the visits are coming from, what it is, which pages they're visiting. So for example, here I can see I've had quite a few visits here. This is someone I wrote a profile on quite some time ago. Might be a good idea for me to check with him if he's still running that business. Here's my statistics. I've been blogging since 2010 on this website, and there you can see my annual statistics for that site. Any activity that's been undertaken on the site will show up here. If you're on the free plan, you can only see a few steps. If you're on the personal or the business plan, you can see more steps. And this is where you actually work on your site. Now, these tabs here are where you work on things, if you're a total beginner, to make changes here. This is the behind the scenes. I actually prefer down here, they've got a WP admin. It's the same stuff, but it's just a slightly different layout, and I actually prefer it, probably just because I've worked with it for longer. So there's two options. You can either work on your site here, or you can scroll down the bottom and click WP admin, which opens in a new tab, and work on it there. Both of them do pretty much the same thing. I just like this layout better. And there's a new publishing experience, they say, coming soon, which is going to make WordPress even easier to work with. It does mean I'm going to have to learn new skills again, but that's what it's like working in digital. So here you can already activate it and play with it. I did a few days ago, and it reminds me of Divi, which is a very popular elegant themes theme that I have bought in the past, but it's just bringing in a different way of working with websites. So I'll leave that for another video. Anyway, if you want to make some changes, so what I want to do with this site, I've imported it, and I imported a whole stack of content I had from my old site. This is my home page, and you can see my about. My pitch is not carried through properly, so I have to fix that. On my welcome page, I'm not even sure if those links work, so I need to double check those. If you're a new WordPress user, to show you the bits of my website, this is my header banner. This is my menu here. This is a page here, a welcome. This is a page. On the right hand side here, these are a little bit like Lego blocks. They're widgets. So that is a search widget. This is a text widget, and this is a Facebook plugin widget. This is another widget. This is another widget. This alignment here is not very nice on my home page, but I need to work on that text anyway. But I could probably pull this off to align it a bit better. These are also widgets. This is my footer bar, and this is my sidebar. Where exactly the menus come up and the header and the pages and the widgets really depends on which theme you choose, and that you can find here. So the theme I am using is Appearance and Themes, and if you're using the other one here, you can also do it in the same. So here you just go straight to Customize and Themes. So Manage Themes, I am using a theme called, where is my theme? This is the one that's active. So Lovecraft is one that I've chosen. It's a free theme. And to customize it, you click there. If you want another theme, there are hundreds of them, or 529. There's free ones and premium ones. So if you only want to look at the free ones, you just click there and it will show you all the free themes. I've recorded another video talking about choosing themes, but what you want to do is go with one that you like the look and feel of, because after you spend a while customizing it, then you don't want to change much later. You can always change on WordPress. That's a cool thing. And the way it populates the theme is by pulling things like your posts, your pages, your widgets, and your featured photos on your pages and posts, but it takes a bit of fiddling around. So you want to try and choose a theme early on and stick with it. What is nice is that you can preview other themes. But anyway, we're sticking with this Lovecraft for now. To go back over here, so I'm going to leave that welcome post. I just want to pull this, actually I'll pull these two widgets off here, because then that will mean that I don't have this big gap there, at least for now. So what I do is I go into either, there's two places you can do it. There's either widgets here, or I can go into Appearance, Themes, and then customize my current theme. So I'll show you both places. That took me a while with WordPress at first to figure out that you could sometimes make changes for the same thing from two different places. So it's just a matter of preference, really. Here you scroll to widgets, and there you've got footer widget, back, footer widget, back, footer widget, back, and the sidebar. So each of those corresponds with back here, those. So I could, let's do it with the follow button, just remove it here. And then you need to publish to save it. So if I go back here and refresh that screen, this follow bar should disappear. Ta-da! So that's gone. To go back, now I want to get rid of this widget, and I will show you how to do it the other way. So you go back here. Let's just go straight to widgets. I prefer, oh no, it's going to take me to the same place. They seem to be changing these. Sometimes, oh no, I've just clicked on the wrong thing, but there is widgets here. I thought it was taking me back to the Appearance and Customize, which is what we just did, but this is the one I prefer to work in, because you can see here it's easier to just open and see what you've got. So here we've got sidebar, footer widgets 1, 2, 3. If you go back over here, sidebar again corresponds with that. So I want to get rid of that follow blog, so I drop down and delete. This view you don't have to save, it automatically saves. Publish as we did with the other, and see now that's gone. So that alignment is slightly better. There's not that big gray gap anymore. These are my footer widgets 1, 2, and 3. Oh, I'm not sure if it's the exact numbers. What I noticed with this is usually they're 1, 2, 3, but this theme, for some reason, this is one area and this is one big area. So this could stretch right out here, but it's a bit annoying. But with themes, you just got to go with it. You close and accept that. So go back here just to show you what would happen, I could put my archives and my categories underneath each other. So see there? But I will separate them again. I can't remember which way I had it around there. The cookies and consent seems to come right across the bottom, and once you've accepted it, it doesn't come back up again, so that doesn't make much difference. So we'll just leave that there, but maybe let's just drag in just to see what happens. Let's drag in a category cloud in widgets 1. I'll just leave those default settings, reset. So see, oh, okay, so there's my 1, 2, 3. Because I had the cookies in and it just came across the bottom, it was shifting these back 1. So I don't want an actual categories cloud, so I will get rid of that, but maybe I will put, let's say, these are all your choices, obviously, here on the left of your widgets that you can choose from. Let's go for a recent posts. I'll put that actually in 3. I'll put categories in 1 and archives in 2, and the cookies seems to come across the bottom. So the recent posts, if you put a title, it will override whatever's there. Or if you don't put a title, it'll just say recent posts. Let's put 5, display post date, no. And then if I reset over here, so you got 1, 2, 3. That throws out my alignment a bit again, but I'll leave it there for now. So that's how to work with widgets. Now the other thing I want to do here on my blog is do the same thing. Now on this theme, it carries across the same sidebar on the welcome and on the profiles. On another website that I was just building, which is Zesty, that's my other business, they have a sidebar that doesn't come up on the welcome page, but it only comes up on the blog, which I've renamed articles and resources. So there, your sidebar with your widgets only shows on your blog page. It seems as though on this theme that we're working with, on professional parents, to go back here, I wanted to put on the blog, I wanted to put a sidebar here that only appeared on the blog and that was a lot longer than my home page, but it seems as though my theme doesn't allow me to do that because there's no other options. These are the only places on this theme I can put the widgets. So if I put anything on the sidebar, it's going to come up on the home page as well as across there. So that's a bit of a pain. Close Zesty down. So that's a short video to show working through, well, it's not that short, 13 minutes now, but to show what it's like to work behind the scenes. So that's how to control widgets. If I want to control this section, this is a page. So I would go back into here we're working with, and I'd go into pages. So if I want to change anything on that welcome page, I scroll down here. This is a bit confusing because I've got a few drafts, but here you would click here. And then that text corresponds with that text. So any changes I make there, once I save them and publish them, will come across here. Same with the about. So see how that picture is not working? Renee and girls needs to be fixed. Oh, that's the other place that you can work on it. I could also click there, but I'm going to come back over here. So I go back to all pages and find my about. For some reason that image is not carried across, so I'm just going to delete that out for now. You can put add media and you can upload a new file, or I can scroll back through. These are all the media files that I've added in the past. Just have a quick look and see if I can find a picture of me and my girls. Most of these pictures are profiles I've done of people. Oh, there we go. So I'll put that one in. So for some reason when I transferred my site, that didn't come up properly. I'll bring that up there. Once I click on update, accept the proofreader, I come back over here. When I refresh my screen, that image comes up. So I need to double check that. See here, this is a quote. So when you're looking at the About page, here I have just highlighted something for this quote. You just highlight something and click here, quote, and it will bring it in like that. And one more thing I will show in this screencast is how to fix, like with the blog posts over here. So this gives a scroll, and the way that this looks and the way that it's presented depends on the theme that you're using. It's a real pain actually, because I wanted to add in a word cloud here like I had on Zesty, but that means if I do it here on my blog, then it's also going to show up on my homepage, and I don't really want that. So that's a moment where I might start reconsidering whether I want to use this theme or a different one, because at the moment on this blog I have posts. So on the blog, this is where the posts come up. I have 200 published posts, and you can't really navigate them very well here. All you can see is 1, 2, 3 in reverse chronological order. There's another image I need to fix there. And you can't really see the rest, whereas if you look at Zesty, I have around 200, 300 posts on there as well. But you can see on my blog, which I've renamed Articles and Resources, I've got these category clouds. So even though I've got the reverse chronological order here of the most recent posts, this particular theme that I'm using allows me to put a different sidebar on my blog, and then you can click, for example, on e-learning, and all the blog posts I've written on e-learning are easily accessible. You can do that on My Professional Parents if you go down the bottom to the here, the categories and the archives, but that's a little bit fiddly. So when you're working with WordPress, there are a lot of different things to consider in how you want to make the website or the blog look, but it all comes down to the basic building blocks, which are widgets, which are these things, your theme, which will have things like a header that you can customize and a menu, and then you have pages, and then you have posts. So I hope that's helped at least a little bit. It may still seem really confusing when you're new to it all, but just take it step by step, experiment, and I wish you all the best with working on your WordPress website.